Mr. Morita is highly critical of the way Americans do business. Among his charges, that if we've lost our competitive edge, we have only ourselves to blame. We'll see what we can learn from him tonight.
This is ABC News Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.
It's something along the lines of a love-hate relationship. We admire Japanese salesmanship and products, even as we resent the inroads that both are making here in the United States. We are convinced that somehow Japan is using a double standard, flooding the American market with its products while making the sale of U.S. goods in Japan next to impossible. And while that is at least partially true, we pay less attention to the fact that the Japanese businessmen who come to this country speak English and have taken the trouble to learn something about our customs, while it is the rare American businessman who takes that kind of knowledge of Japanese language and customs with him to Japan. We are hurt when one of the most successful Japanese businessmen of our generation, the founder and chairman of Sony, accuses Americans, in effect, of being a nation of crybabies. Well, maybe Akio Morita's very success has earned him our attention. Here's a short profile by Nightline correspondent Jackie Judd.
Akio Morita presides over a company with sales last year exceeding the gross national product of Zimbabwe, Iceland, and Honduras combined, $16 billion in all. Not bad for a firstborn son expected to take over the family sake brewery. Electronic physics is what Morita loved and what he pursued after the war. He began Sony with a $500 stake from his family, working out of the basement of a bombed-out Tokyo department store.
Back in the 1960s, President de Gaulle of France dismissed the Japanese as nothing more than transistor sales. Well, Mr. Morita is the greatest transistor salesman of all time.
The rise began in 1952 when Sony bought the rights from Western Electric to manufacture the transistor in Japan. From that, the company produced the first transistor or pocket radio. Problem was, the radio didn't fit into a shirt pocket, so Morita made his salesmen new shirts with bigger pockets to convince customers the radio lived up to its name. The ploy worked, and Sony was off and running. Morita knew early on he wanted to sell internationally. He was one of the first Japanese industrialists to hire a Madison Avenue firm to introduce the name Sony to America.
A Sony of my own.
Morita's genius is creating products we don't even know we want. But once on the shelves, we can't get enough of them. There's the Trinitron television set, the Walkman, the Video Watchman, the compact disc, and more. Sony is bigger here than in Japan, and so is Morita. He's important enough to have been asked to sell an American product.
The American Express card don't leave home without it.
In his homeland, Morita is not a member of the old-line business elite, the Zaibatsu, and his style sets him apart as well.
He's been a real kind of buccaneer entrepreneur in the Japanese world in ways that we think of as American. And he built a wonderful company more or less on his own in what we would think of as the American tradition. This has made him, until recently, much more admired in America than in Japan.
Some suggest a book Morita recently co-authored with a popular nationalist politician critical of the United States was his attempt to become a part of the Zaibatsu. Morita naively believed the book would stay inside Japan. When it became an underground must-read in the United States, his plan backfired.
He certainly knows that it was a mistake, and I think he's sorry that it was handled the way it was handled. And I think he now realizes that probably the best thing for him to do is to be a good corporate citizen in this country.
But for the most part, Morita, still energetic at 69, has strung together one success after another. And the question must be asked, what in him made it all work?
He really looked for new things always, new avenues. So in a way, sometimes he may have been adventurous.
So it could be argued that the vaunted Sony spirit of seeking the unknown describes not only the company, but also the man who created it. This is Jackie Judd for Nightline.
Our interview with Akio Morita when we return in just a moment. Sony Chairman Akio Morita was in Washington this week for a meeting of the Trilateral Commission, an organization of distinguished citizens from North America, Japan, and Western Europe, designed to encourage mutual understanding. We spoke with him yesterday here in our Washington bureau. I asked him about his criticism of the way American businessmen operate. You call it money games.
Yes.
You feel that American corporations, American businessmen, American banks spend too much time playing games. What do you mean by that?
Because, of course, you know, in these days, finally I found basic difference between Japanese businessmen's attitude and American businessmen's attitude. In this country, many times corporation or company is for elite top management. In Japan, corporation or company is not top management. Corporation is for group. That means all the company employee, including top management. So in this country, top management come into the company and to show his ability. So that means first time he clean up the company with writing off all the bad things, because that's his fault of predecessor. And then he tried to build up company and show the profit quarterly. To do that, he does not want to invest the money for long future.
So you're saying the concern is A, for the executive himself, how much money he can make, B, short-term, interested in the quarterly profits rather than long-term, which you would define as what, 5, 10 years?
Yeah, that's right. So then to make money easily, he move money, rotate money, with which he can make a profit much faster. And more than that, sometimes he sell company just like a commodity. He buy the company and then he sell. Or he buy the company, he liquidate it. So for me, just company is treated like a commodity. But company is group of the people. For me, this cannot stand to see that, because we feel company is just like a family, just like home. We are working together. So this group of people working same direction should not be treated just like a commodity.
You even, in your book, put it in terms of human rights. You said the United States claims to be very concerned about human rights. You wrote of it as though that is a human rights violation when a company does that.
You know, that's my observation.
I understand.
Maybe your observation is different.
No. I'd like you to expand on your observation.
You know, that in this country, if economy is good, company hires many people to the factory and make a more profit product and to make a more profit. And then recession comes, management fire the people, lay off the people to cut down the expense and to keep management profit. So that means recession was not caused by these employees. Recession come from somewhere else. But